Hello, troopers, and welcome back to the 501st Com Chatter. As you can see, I am rejoined by my wonderful co-host this week. She is back. Chloe is here.
I'm sorry I couldn't make it last time. I had work.
It is understandable.
I had work.
We did miss you.
Guys. And since then, we had a bit of issue with our Wi-Fi in the day, so we couldn't do an episode then when we wanted to because we've got so much to talk about.
Yes.
And other than that, we've just been busy with work and things. So, we're still currently going to be moving, so we have all that to sort out as well. We've just not had much time to do an episode for you guys. But today we're going to be talking about the second lot of Andor, and then
third lot. 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Third lot of Andor. It's because I've only been here for one lot of Andor. Right. Third lot of Andor, and then the next episode, we're not sure when that will be because we are busy this Thursday, going away for an event. But next episode we will talk about like the final 3 episodes of Andor, and then the episode after that we'll go through Tales of the Jedi. Not Jedi. Tales of the Underworld. I will get things right today.
You sure?
Yes. So the episode after we break down Andor will be Tales of the Underworld, because we thought we'd just do one sort of thing at a time instead of confusing it and breaking down Andor and then in between doing Tales of the Underworld and that sort of thing. So yeah.
So probably by the time you've seen this, you will have watched all of Andor, like we have. But obviously, we're going to go do the final lot next episode because it's way too much to do 6 episodes.
We'd be here for like 2 or 3 hours talking about everything.
So yes, we're going to crack on with it. Again, apologies for there not being an episode in a while. It's just because the problems we had last week, we couldn't do it, and it's just been very busy. But we are here today, and we know it's a little bit impromptu, but we were like, we got to do it because otherwise it will never get done. So yes, so shall we crack on with today's episode? We have some hot toys to start us off with.
We do, and they look so cool.
So we're starting off with Commander Cody.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He does look so cool. He's so detailed, like all the little scratches and everything on him, and like even this pose they've put in him looks so cool. Sort of like a Rex pose, really, but I do really like it, and all these little marks and stuff just look so real.
The little scuffs.
We obviously always say this about the hot toys, that they are really detailed, but like they really are. Like even on his visor, you can see it's not just completely orange. You've got like little scratches and like faded bits of paint. It's so really cool.
It is very cool.
So this Commander Cody, I don't know if it is sold out of pre-orders yet because it was only limited to 3,000, exclusive to Hot Toys. But yeah, it does come with a different helmet as well. So
it does come with the Phase 1.
So you got the Phase 1 or the Phase 2, this one.
But you get a little hollow Yoda.
I think it comes with 3 different hollow packs. So I think you get like Kenobi, you get the iconic like
Palpatine,
Darth Sidious, and then you get Yoda as well. But yeah, I really like these ones. There was a Clone Commander Cody before, but I think like the paint work was a little bit different on it.
I think also I saw someone say something about the helmet is a bit different or something. Like it didn't come with the Phase 1 or something last time.
I think you only got like the Phase 2. But yeah, I think as far as like the face sculpt, I think that's the same because it's just like the regular sort of.
If I was to have this anyway, I would want him with the Phase 1 head.
Yeah.
Like it's the best looking one.
Phase 2 is the best.
And yes, guys, for any of you who did watch the last episode, I did get a bit of a grilling about my Commander Cody helmet. That if you notice, he's not saying anything. I got a bit of a grilling from that one. Sorry.
I do really like the Clone Commander Cody helmet, and also they haven't officially released it yet. It's only been leaked on Amazon, which I find really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because usually when like Lego sets and stuff get leaked, they'll just then put it on the website, you know. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of them things. Like, we will probably end up with the helmet, but I think at the minute it is a lot of money.
I told you, she's the voice of reason between
Yes.
us.
I know it's
But it's
Commander Cody.
Andy will go so well
It would
with
go
Rex.
well with the Rex, but
And think of all the
I
like
need
funny
to
clips
save
we
money.
could have with like Rex and Cody. Could do like Rex and Cody adventures.
eventually, maybe.
Sweet life of Rex and Cody.
Mm.
I'm on to something here, guys.
But also, speaking of helmets, we might have a potential leak. So,
don't get yourself in trouble, bud.
no, I know. But basically, I mean, both of us work in retail, and you can like sort of check on the system for like, you know, different helmets that you stock and all of that. And I basically spotted a Shore Trooper Black Series helmet on the system, and it had a new code. So my theory is they're going to release a Shore Trooper helmet, maybe from Rogue One, because they've done the Rogue One Death Trooper recently, or possibly from Andor. But I think Rogue One.
Yeah,
makes
that's
more
where you
sense
really
to me.
see it.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's someone to look out for
There
the
we
future.
go.
Good spot.
So we've got a couple new helmets that are going to be released hopefully soon. The Commander Cody and the Shore Trooper. So yeah.
Hopefully. So we've got, going back to the Cody hot toy, again, as you can see, you got the phase 1, phase 2. I personally like phase 2 better, but that's me. I've always preferred the phase 2 helmet. Here's everything that he comes with. So obviously you got the sort of Cody face sculpt.
Oh, he comes with 4 little hollow pucks.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yoda. Oh, that's like another trooper.
Ah, that's cool. So you get a little clone trooper. You got the little hollow
So you
puck
got
in the hand.
Palpatine, Kenobi, Yoda, and a fellow clone.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's Rex or something.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Him and the Rex would look so cool together.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool.
Yeah, you get the like jetpack. You get the long blaster rifle, and then you get the 2 small guns as well.
Yeah, and you get the short rifle as well.
And you get plenty of different hands. And
yeah, you get the puck, the arm with the puck. But I like how the arm with the puck is like a separate thing. Yeah. Like you don't need to try and put the puck in the hand. Like there's a special hand for it. Very cool. Going on to the next one, the go with the Cody, which is also another limited to 3,000 exclusive. We have the Airborne Trooper from the 212. I think a lot of people will like this one. Yeah. If you've got the Cody, this is probably a good one to have with it. Again, from Revenge of the Sith. So this is the ones that we see on Utapau sort of like drop in. There is like regular 212 ones that come down from the gunships, but you do see these ones. And,
yeah, definitely. If you pause the Revenge of the Sith movie on Utapau, you'll see these in the background.
Yes, and I think you pointed it out. It looks like the Purge Trooper helmet. Yeah,
it does.
So
they are
very cool.
And I like the little bases that they come on as well. It's like a sort of Utapau sand.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Base. Yeah.
So you could have that one to go with Cody if you wanted. Moving on, we have Kenobi. Now there is 2 different versions. So this is the artisan version. Sorry. So the hair is like actual like
Fibers.
yeah.
Like
So-
I don't want to say like a Barbie, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
when
it's
when I say
actual
Barbie,
like it's not like plastic.
it's not sculpted yet.
So you have this version, which the hair is like perfect and spot on, but the face seems a bit off. And that's not often we say that with Hot Toys, but is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the normal version, with the sculpted hair,
Yeah,
the face
looks
is
more
like
Ewan McGregor.
is more spot on.
Yeah.
So
I mean, both of them are very detailed, though.
yeah. So here's sort of like a close up of it. Like, yeah, of course you can see that it's Ewan, but I just feel like it's a little bit different. So yeah, I do find the ones with like the woven hair though is very very unique and cool.
Yeah, but this one's from episode 2, which I think a lot of people wanted an episode 3 Obi-Wan announced.
I think there's one coming.
Yeah,
I have seen one. I swear I've seen one.
maybe there's an older one, but maybe they're going to remake it or something. But I mean, this makes sense because we have episode 2 Anakin and episode 2 Padme.
Well,
So
now you can have.
Now you got Obi-Wan to go with them. He also does come with the little droid as well, which I think is quite a good little add-on thing because it's like the one that puts the bug in Padme's room, and then he like jumps up out the window and like grabs it, and he's just swinging through Coruscant on this little droid. So I think it's really cool how they've added that because it is quite like an action scene.
So I was just having a quick look because I swear I've seen a thing where they revealed it, but like I might be wrong.
I don't think so yet.
Well,
but there should be one.
I'm pretty sure there's one coming. I've seen pictures.
Being that
of
we've had Cody from episode 3, the one that we're going to talk about in a minute, from the two that we'll talk about in a minute from episode 3, we've had the sort of Darth Vader first appearance where he's still Anakin, but he's got the Sith eyes from episode 3. You know,
Kenobi's coming.
Yeah,
you like this one?
I do. This is Darth Vader from episode 3.
But there's 2 versions.
Again, yeah, there's 2 versions. There's one that's like normal, and then there's a deluxe one as well. Even the normal one though looks very nice. So with this one, you get the Anakin, the burned Anakin sculpt underneath. But then you can put the helmet on as well, and then it can be normal Darth Vader. It comes with 2 different capes, so you can have like just a normal fabric cape, or you can have it so it's like got wire inside and it's blowing in the wind.
So you can have them like.
Yeah. So if you want like a sort of action shot where he's outside, or you know his cape's flinging behind him, then you can put the wired cape on and shape it to however you want. He's also got lights on him for like the buttons.
You can have them with like folded arms, like at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. I think it also comes with a stand which has like the sort of Imperial flooring, and it's got the backdrop, which is like the scene at the end where he's looking out the window of Palpatine.
So you can have him like
seeing the
doing
Death
the
Star.
thing.
Yeah.
Just noticed something very cool. That's that Revenge of the Sith lightsaber.
Yep. So not a lot of people know that his lightsaber in Revenge of the Sith was a different hilt to the regular Darth Vader lightsaber that we all know from the originals and everything.
But this Hot Toy has even got the special hilt.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
I mean, we never actually got to see it in the film.
Yeah.
But there is, you know, pictures of him on set and like the promotion pictures which he had it, but yeah. Not a lot of people know.
No, unless, and we learned that from our 501st Vader Revenge of the Sith friends.
Yes.
But it's still very cool that the Hot Toy have included that. So, fair play to them.
Yep.
So this is the normal version.
Mhm.
The deluxe version. Wow.
The deluxe version looks similar in terms of the figure, but it comes with a lot more. So you've got like the sort of robotic hand. You've got the table where he's like being made into Darth Vader. You've got 2 of the little droids that are helping him put on his outfit. And the details of the helmet and the mask look absolutely unreal. Like, you've got the red eyes on the inside.
There's a
is
lot
literally-
of details there.
Is literally like the scene in the film, like where you can see the inside of the helmet and it's going on his face. It's so cool.
It's so detailed.
Yeah.
So yeah, here you go. So yeah, so you got the same head, the same like cape,
Mm-hmm.
the lightsabers, the different hands, but obviously with this you get the table,
Mm-hmm.
so you can like recreate the like scene of like
Or like the
no,
that's going on over here.
but you also have the
So you got like the little handcuffs as well.
on the hands. You have the extra hands with the handcuffs free. You also get the table, like you mentioned, the droids, and you also get a version with his hand, robotic hand, before it's obviously been gloved.
Yep.
So that's quite cool.
And you can move the eyes around in his head as well if you're having his head showing. So that makes it even cooler.
It is very cool. I think we've talked about these before. I might be wrong, but we have a chopper.
Chop.
And BD1 in Imperial disguises.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the chopper with the painted black head and red band on it.
They do look really cool, to be fair.
And BD1 is black with the red like stripes and the red, what do they call it? Accent.
But also, like, the detail on it. Like, all the little bits of dirt on the bottom of him. Like, it's so cool.
What I quite like about the chop
rust.
on these little bits here
Mm.
is it looks like where he's had the quick paint job.
There's a bit of overspray.
Yeah. Which I think is quite cool.
Yeah.
Because obviously this isn't his normal colour, and obviously Sabine's like quickly done it. So it's quite cool that they've added like a bit of that. So yeah. I believe we're getting on to the episode now.
Mm-hmm.
So
we start on
7, 8, and 9 of Andor season 2. Episode 8 was a crazy episode.
Mm-hmm.
Very crazy. But obviously we're going to start with episode 7. And we start on Yavin.
We do.
Which was nice to see.
We got all the X-wings.
So over the Tannoy, we hear, like on the black screen, we hear Shadow 6, you're clear for open pad 1. And then obviously we see this ship being escorted by 2 X-wings as they approach the temple. I don't recognise the middle ship, but I think it's like a troop.
Yeah.
Like a transport ship.
Mm-hmm.
But the X-wings looked so cool, and it's like, this is
love
nice.
seeing X-wings.
Yes, but it's like the old X-wings that make it so much better.
Yeah.
You know, nothing. You know, the new ones are okay, but like, there's something about the old design.
It's like the nostalgia in it.
Yeah. So we see this land on Yavin, but as it comes into land, we can see that like there's been a little bit of deforestation around the sort of temple because they're like expanding. And we also see only like a handful of ships because this is still 2 BBY. Yeah, because it's the third batch. So 2 BBY. So the rebel base isn't even the main rebel base. This is like they're still at Dantooine, and they're moving over here, so they're getting there.
To Yavin.
We also see the ship land, and we see Wilman come out of the ship with a load of other new rebels. And we hear one of the guys on the base say, "No vouchers, no food, no rack until you check in with your duty officer." So we can see that the rebels are like starting to organize a bit now. You know what I mean? Like they're starting to become an actual unit. They're not just like the individuals doing the odd hit and run. You know what I mean? Here we have the rebel base, or the like living quarters sort of thing that we see.
Lots of scaffolding.
Yeah, and we see obviously Wilman making his way through it in towards the like jungle, where we see Bix and Cassian, and Cassian's like, he's like his shoulders hurting.
He's got a wound.
And Bix is like, "Let me see it."
Yep, let me feature.
So we see obviously he's been shot in the shoulder, or like it's grazed.
It's like a sort of burn, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously it's like grazed his shoulder, and he's in a bit of pain because of it. And then start having a little bit of a kiss, having a little moment, which is interrupted by Wilman. He's like, "I can come back," and they're like, "No, no."
Oh, what's happening?
So then we see that Wilman won't say where he's been. They were like, "Oh, are you okay? We were worried about you." And she's like, Cassian's like, "Where were you?" Like, all like very chill. And he won't say. And Cassian's like, "Where have you been?" And then he finally reveals it that he's been on Gorman. Oh dear. So then we do cut to Gorman. This is Gorman Plaza. So this is the like monument for the Tarkin massacre. And we can see there's obviously smoke in the distance from a bombing, which we learn from like the media outlets and news reporters that are there, that it was done by terrorists and the resistance. But apparently it isn't true, but they're saying it's them to generate, fear and propaganda, shall we say. But we can see as well that the armory building is now properly like overshadowing the Monument Plaza, which the locals were like, "No, we can't do that.
No. You're ruining our place."
Yeah, we can't have that there. And we see that the media are calling it a terrorist attack. But we see the news droids, which are quite cool. And they are actually practical. So they're obviously like on wires.
They do look quite cool. It's honestly like BBC News.
Yes.
It's like, today, breaking news on Gorman.
So he tells them, so we do see that Wilman finally admits that like the reason he is here is Luthen has asked for Cassian to come and help him. They have learned that Dedra is now on Gorman. Because obviously she was put in charge of the project from Krennic, but she is now there. And there's that moment where Wilman shows Bix the tablet with this info on in her face, and Bix is a bit like she doesn't have like a full-on psycho episode, but she's like, "Oh, I don't like her."
No.
Because Dedra was the one who brought Ghost in to torture Bix.
To put the thing on her head in season 1.
So that they basically want to kill her because she's been sniffing about Luthen a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't have that.
No.
So then we cut to Dedra in the like little safe secret room where she's waiting for a call, which then Partagaz comes on. He's like, "I'm sorry to keep you waiting."
Yeah.
He's playing mind games with her. I think like, you have to wait for me. Like, you know what I mean?
It's all this like authority, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
he's her boss.
Yes. He says the Emperor has taken a great interest in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So the Emperor is keeping an eye on what's going on Gorman because he's like, we could use this to our advantage, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he also mentions as well, Krennic has a lab in Edu, working overtime for a year. I don't know the science of it, but it's bad luck Gorman. So Edu is the base where Galen Erso is working on the like laser, turbo laser for the Death Star. So little Rogue One.
It's all slotting together.
It's all coming together now, isn't it?
Like a puzzle.
And basically tells her that like Captain Kaido has arrived, and the whole he's a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like his point of being there is to oversee what's going to happen in the next episode. So we see that. And he is a crisis specialist, apparently. So he's called in for situations like this. We then see Mon Mothma arrive at the Senate.
It's really cool to see this Senate building, though.
And
we see it so much in the prequels, but we never actually see the outside of it or anyone trying to get in and their protocols and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought this was quite a cool little.
We do. I quite like the car as well, like the little hovering like car.
Yep.
Very luxury. But we do see
like a limo.
Yeah, we do see though that her driver is clearly working for like ISB.
100%.
Because he's like, Senate Security's asking, what is your schedule?
Mm-hmm.
I need to tell them what we're doing. And he was like, are you going back to the office later or something?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I might walk. It's a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then obviously Erskine's like, no, Mon says, I need to fire him, or like I need a new driver or something. And then Erskine's like, they might send someone not as stupid or something, you know. This is quite funny. Also, meant to say, when Dedra's here, we see Cyril go to the ISB building, and he sort of like marches into her office.
Oh yeah.
And the sort of guy, like almost like her subordinate, like her lower, basically tells him she's in a meeting, like she's busy.
Like, where is she? She's in a meeting.
So he waits, and then she comes out, and then she's like, pack your things, and good things are waiting for us on Coruscant, and that.
Get ready to leave.
Yep, get ready to go.
Like, what?
Yeah, he's very like kerfuffled.
And then she kisses him.
She gives him proper smooch. So
she does.
What we saw, that little cheeky like peck, she's full on like smooched him. She was like, want a proper kiss. So yeah. We then see, so going back to this bit, sorry. So we then see the protocol for like entering the Imperial Senate. They've raised security. So here is where like all the senators and their liaisons sort of like enter. And there's like a bloody security gate getting scanned.
It's like getting in the airport.
Yeah. Like, there's so much security for it, and it's all like because of the Imperial like controlling everything.
Mm-hmm. They want to know if you got anything weaponized on you.
I know. It's just weird to see, isn't it? We do also then cut to Senator Orman, who is the like senator for Gorman.
Yeah.
Thanking Mon for her like public bravery, because obviously Mon's sort of been probably supporting the cause, in a way. We then see the Gorman like front, so the like resistance, if you would call them that, like having a meeting about how are they going to deal with the Imperials imposing themselves on them each day more.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember this guy's name. I think it's Lizab. I think Lizan. I think it's Lizen. One of those. He has now joined the front. He was the reason that Cinta got shot, because he had that like scuffle with Sam and the blaster went off.
Mm-hmm.
So he's now part of the front. I think he should have been a part of the front to begin with, because he's one of the most passionate ones about the cause.
Yep.
We see, really interestingly, we see Bix take Cassian for like a little walk to the living quarters, where we see this force healer working on some people, and he's like, "Why did you bring me here?" And she's like, "Because you wouldn't have come if I told you what we were doing." And then the force healer, like,
she straight away knows that the wound is on his back.
She comes over, she's like, "Who are you?" And then Bix is like, "He's got a wound on his shoulder." And then she's like, "Oh no, sorry, you've got a wound on." No, yeah, she says that, and she's like, "It's on your right shoulder," isn't it? And stuff like that. She's like, does a force healing. You don't see anything, but like she does something. She's like,
She closes her eyes, yeah.
And then she takes her hand off. She's like, "Thank you for giving me like
for what?
For giving me the like clarity and restoring her faith." And she senses things on a deeper level. And she's like, Cassian's like, basically like, "I don't believe this. No. I'm going home."
No, exactly. This is all question.
He goes home, and she tells Bix, "Who is he?" And she's like, "He's a pilot. He's a soldier. But you scared him. It's not easy to do." And she's like, people sort of carry weights with them, and she's like, he's collecting it as he goes. He's a messenger. He's got a purpose, which I thought was quite funny, because I'm pretty sure there's a line in Rogue One where Cassian goes, "I'm just a messenger," So I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she then also like holds like Bix's hand when they like say goodbye. She does look quite sad though. She doesn't ever seem happy. Now, I'm not saying she's a Jedi, because we don't know that. Like, it's just we know she's a Force healer. Like, there's so many Force sensitive beings in the galaxy, So, yeah. So then we see. Sorry, I'm just getting to my notes. Oh, sorry. So then Bix goes back and speaks to Cassian, who's actually looking at his wound in the mirror, and it's like healed. It's healing, isn't it? It's like, healed. And he's like,
"How should you do this?"
I don't really get it. But then him and Bix sort of have a bit of an argument and debate, being like there's. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but like Bix is like, "You're a messenger. You're more important than you realise."
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we see General Dravin from Rogue One return, because we see Cassian and Wilman like loading up the U-wing, and he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you leaving?" And Cassian's like, "The day I need permission to come and go, I'm gone."
Yep.
You know, Cassian's still got that sort of rogue aspect to him, but yeah, quite interesting. And yeah, it's quite nice to see a returning character from Rogue One. We see a couple in final episodes, but we'll do that when that comes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice to see him, and obviously he's like, that day is closer than you realise, that you're going to start having to follow orders here. And yeah, they fly off, leaving Yavin to go to Gorman. And we see like the X-Wings here. Look at everyone wants an X-Wing.
Yeah.
I want an X-Wing. So then we go back to Gorman, and we see obviously Captain Kaido here, like waiting for these cadets to arrive. And so they all get off the truck, they like put their hats on and they fall in, and then yeah, very cool. I quite like the black Imperial uniforms. I think it's quite a cool look.
Yeah, I think we're used to seeing them in white, so nice to see that one.
I just think it stands out quite a bit, doesn't it? And here we have a speeder. Is it a bark speeder? I believe it is. With not a scout trooper on it, which is quite funny. Then we see Cassian and Wilman arrive on Gorman, flying low through the like scenic area. Very Switzerlandy, very like Alps, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very cool though. And as you can see, Wilman's a little bit like, a bit nervous, don't like this. Where Cassian's like, I got this. This is easy. We see Val goes and visits Bix in their little log cabin hut. Not log cabin, what would you call it? Tree. It's not really a tree house as well, is it? Because it's like on the floor. Like cabin. Glamping on Yavin. Which
Star
is quite
Wars
cool.
glamping.
Star Wars glamping.
That's what I call it.
Yeah, so we see that, and Val visits Bix and tells her that the leaders she has been sent by Dreven, who was the guy who just mentioned, and Dodana, who's the guy in New Hope with like the grey hair and the beard, who's like one of the leaders of the rebels. And they have sent her to tell Bix, like, we need Cassian to start following orders because they want to promote him to captain. But he keeps doing silly things like going off without permission, and it's not good enough. So she's like, we need to change that. We then see Cassian and Wilman like get to like the plaza, and Wilman's like, right, I'm going off with my Gorman front like connection is here. So he goes off with him, and he's like, I want a weather report to test that it works. And then obviously Cassian goes into the hotel, and we see the bellhop from the last couple of episodes is now one of the like, is it like clerks? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, like, I guess so. Person at the till.
Yeah.
the reception.
Yeah. So he's obviously had a promotion, and he plays them off. It plays off the interaction being like, with Cassian being like, oh, we're going to have to log you in because you haven't gone through the checkpoint or whatever. And he's like, Cassian's like, I wanted to avoid the curfew.
Mhm.
So they're like, oh, we will register that in the morning, sort of thing. And then the woman leaves. Oh, sorry, no. Then they mention Alderaan. The Alderaan shuttle has cancelled their trip, or the Alderaan group has cancelled their trip.
Yep.
So there's a group of Alderaans going to Gorman for some reason.
Who knows?
And when she leaves, he gives Cassian the like plaza room with overlooking the like plaza square where he can help with Dedra. We then see him basically like being aware of what he's doing. He's like you know, I can't remember the exchange, but like you know what I mean. He knows. So he goes to his room, and he like unpacks his suitcase, and at the bottom of it he has this blaster. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one from Rogue One.
Like a sniper rifle.
Yeah, but in many parts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
build it.
It's the one he has at Rogue One when he goes to shoot Galen.
Yeah.
But then he hears like some voices, and he uses like this little mirror on like a stick and opens the door, and he like sees that 2 stormtroopers are stood on top his thing having a little chat, which I thought was quite funny. And we also see Wilman at the like Gorman front base, and he's like eyeing up some girl, and it's like, not again, mate.
No.
Stop looking at the locals and getting with them. Like, please, Wilman, focus on the mission. So, start of episode 2, we see Cassian wake up because he hears a bit of a like commotion going on in the plaza, and we see that the Imperials are bringing the like bollard gates, like the
like barriers.
back, the barriers back to the like front of the
ISB
fortress
building.
for the ISB place, and like they're opening up the plaza. So Cassian calls Wilman. He's like, weather report, and he's like, what's going on? And Wilman obviously has no idea because he's been sleeping
with this lady.
Yes, so he's been sleeping with her, and it's like, oh, Wilman, you missed now. What's going on? Bless him. But so we see Cassian obviously spoken up. The front, so here we have, as you can see, they're moving the sort of barricades back from the like entrance. So they're like gonna let people like come in through the main entrance. So we also see members of, so we see Cyril in his house, like looking at a spider. He's really like conflicted about stuff as well. And I think it was in the previous episode as well. We see him go meet the daughter of Rizlan, something like that. And he's like, I don't know what's happening or something. She like slaps him. I think that was the episode before this, I think. But anyway, he gets a knock on the door, and it's like one of these black suit Imperials, and they tell him that
all Imperials need to go to the ISB building.
So he sort of gets going. We then cut back to Dedra again in the safe room, or the secure room. And again, she's waiting for a call, and Partagast is again late, basically saying, sorry I'm late, lots of things to go on, whatever. We also see that the rebel resistant front on Gorman is getting themselves ready to like march on the square and attack, basically. But we see obviously Paragaz basically tell, because she's like, oh, there's rumors of mining equipment being deployed to the surface overnight, and he's like, don't worry about the rumors. It's, all that matters is the Imperial sort of news and media coverage. Like, we're done with all this like silly little rumor games and all that. So yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to. I'm got some wrong notes. Sorry. Basically, so the sorry, I'm getting this wrong.
Okay.
Apologise for this. Right. So yeah. So we see the sort of Gorman front arming up with guns and blasters and.
They're preparing for the worst.
Yes. So they're getting ready to march.
Because clearly someone else is going to come in.
Yeah. Rylance finds his daughter in the main square. And she's like, oh, we're ready. We're going to march on the plaza. And he's like, can't you see? It's a trap. Yeah. Like, they're bringing us all in to kill us, sort of thing. And he's like, I need to stop this. So, yeah. So then we see, obviously, the march with the, like, horns, rallying people being like, we are the Gore. The galaxy is watching.
Yeah.
And they keep repeating it. And, like, more and more people join the, like, march.
I was saying to Will, maybe that's the new one way up.
Yeah.
One way out.
We are the Gore.
The galaxy is watching.
So we see, obviously, like, Lizanne join. He's like, loving this. He's like, this is our time. We're taking back the square. We also see Cyril bump into Rylance, who knows he's been an ISB spy because he basically calls him out.
Yeah.
And Cyril's like, what on earth are you on about? And he's like, mining equipment coming down. What do you want from us, sort of thing?
And then blame Cyril for it.
And he's like, what kind of being are you?
Cyril don't have a bloody clue about what's going on.
He's furious. And anyway, he sort of like chucks him to the ground and then like walks off in the crowd towards the plaza. I'll come to that bit in a bit. So we see Kaido telling Dedra that he just wants a safe trip home or something, basically being like, oh, his trip is done. Like, he's done. He doesn't need to do too, like, he just wants to go home now. You know what I mean? And that he's ready to give the orders whenever. So yeah, you can see them obviously marching in. When the like march and the protesters and everything has entered the square, they do close off the like square. But I think there is some bits before this that I've gotten wrong on that. So Cassian speaks to the clerk as he's leaving. He's like, I'd never registered you, so you're fine.
We haven't told the ISB that you're here, basically.
Yeah. And the clerk tells Cassian, rebellions are built on hope. Which is a line.
Quote.
Yeah, but it's a quote Cassian gives to her first on Jeddah.
Oh, okay.
And then Jinnah says it. So this is where it comes from. Yeah, so that's very cool. We see, obviously, Cassian trying to contact Willman, but the signal's really bad. And Willman's in the group in the march. Cassian is, like, on the stairs when the protesters, like, come into the thing. he walks past Cyril, like Cyril
Yeah.
and him, like just miss each other. It was really close and tense. You're like, oh my god, they're gonna see each other.
And also the filmography of that as well. Like 1 minute you're following Cassian, and then it goes on to Cyril, and you're walking behind Cyril.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. And we see obviously eventually they do like close off the gate, and they bring all the stormtroopers that were like at the top, like they bring them in, so like they're trapped in there now.
Yep.
The protesters are still singing loudly, like "We are the
Oh my
goal."
god! The galaxy is watching.
Yeah. Then we see Cyril follow Cyril as he comes into the ISB building, and obviously Dedra's quite busy at the minute, so the guy's like, "Come with me, sir. You got to come wait in this safe room."
Mm-hmm.
So this is obviously like other members of like Imperial whatever in this like safe room with the KX droids, and they all just sort of stare at him, but then they all like turn their heads apart from the one in the middle. He just keeps staring at him like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Which I
Maybe
thought,
that one is Kate's wrestling.
yeah, I thought it was quite funny though.
Yeah.
We see. So this is the bit, sorry, where Kaido tells the lieutenant to seal the entrances to the plaza, and so obviously the stormtroopers come in now, closing it off, and he wants a clear path to the monument.
Yep.
So he wants him to go out there with the cadets, and he's like, "But they're green, like they're new." Like he was like,
"Nope.
I just see Imperial uniforms."
Yep.
Or do you want to all spend your night in the like brig?
Yeah.
So
basically punish him.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it.
So yeah, he's like, all right, okay. So they all start like gearing up. Cyril sneaks out of the. Sorry, we also do see people in the crowd like taking like Molotov cocktails ready to like throw if it gets a bit violent. We see Lizen notice this, so he sees people like, and he's like, I need to calm it down a bit. So he starts singing the like unifying planet song, planetary anthem, being like, Vale. I can't remember how it is, but I know it's like it's all the different areas of Gorman, and other people start singing, and then that becomes the new song. Everyone starts chanting. So we see Cyril sort of leave the safe room. I don't know how he got away with this, man, but he gets out the safe room, sneaks upstairs, confronts Dedra, and she's like, because the other officer's like, you can't go in there, and she's like, shut the door, leave us.
Yeah.
So Cyril's like, what on earth are you doing here? Like, tell me the truth. And Dedra's like, what?
And he gets
like,
a bit aggressive.
He's like, don't lie to me. And she's like, jumps, and then he's like, gets very aggressive with her, and he finally realizes he's been absolutely used and manipulated by Dedra and the ISB. He's been a mug, he's been a pawn. She tells him that there's some like program that that's been done by like Krennic basically, and their time on Gorman is done. She's like, great, like we will be rewarded, Cyril, sort of thing. He like strangles and chokes her, and then she sort of composes herself a bit, and she's like,
you didn't mind the
you didn't mind the promotions, and he's like, I can't believe he said that, basically. And he's like, goodbye, Dedra. And he walks out, and he goes and rejoins the crowd. Crazy man. Should have stayed where he was. So yeah, then we see that like the riot group make their way out into the crowd, like creating like a path to the monument. And we see like here they are making their way through. We also see this guy on top of the thing waving like a flag.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also see as well, like, I love this shot of the Imperials because what I really like, what this show has done with the stormtroopers, they've made them almost like to a normal person in that universe. They're scary.
Yeah.
Because when you see like the riot troopers and that, you can see their faces. Like, they're just normal people, really. In like, and these stormtroopers, you know, they were not like everywhere. They were mainly used for like big conflicts and that. So you would normally see ISB, or not ISB, but like Imperials in like regular uniforms and that. But when you see the regular storm like Imperials, you see their faces. They're very emotional. They're very like emotive. But whenever the camera cuts to any of the stormtrooper shots, they are all just like non-moving. They are like statues. And as a normal person in the Star Wars universe, like, you would think these are like the best of the best, wouldn't you? Because it's like they're so like on it.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I think it's really cool. And they do look really good in this as well. You're like, stormtroopers.
I do really like them.
We do also see as well TIE fighters flying above, which is quite cool to see.
Yeah.
So back in Dedra's office, she's got a call from Partagas, but we don't see the call, but we just see her take her headset off. And Kaido's like, "What are my orders, sir?" And then she's just like, "Proceed." Like, she's still pissed off about Cyril, but she's like, "Get him back." Like, get him back here. The stormtroopers fly overhead, sort of trying to generate a little bit of like tension for the crowd. Then we cut to this Imperial sniper on the roof, who originally you thought was Sam Witwer.
Yeah, I mean, at a glance, I don't know, his eyebrow just looked a bit.
It
definitely isn't.
it's not, but like.
But it would have been a cool little, like, I don't know, I guess Easter egg for like Force Unleashed.
Well, I mean, he was in he was the Shore Trooper in season 1, so so we get this really cool shot of like the sniper's point of view through the scope, and he's pointing at the crowd, and then once he's been given the order, he lifts it up and he aims at one of the riot troopers, and then he shoots, killing one of the riot troopers on purpose, which caused these riot troopers to be like,
"Who on earth shot her?
We just got shot by one of like." Yeah. So then the lieutenant then shoots the guy waving the flag, who clearly couldn't have shot the guy because he's hanging on and waving a flag. But then it is then carnage. They start shooting civilians. The Gorman front then are like shooting them. I think a stormtrooper then gets shot, and then like the stormtroopers like shooting into the crowd. Cyril's just stood there like, what? It's all kicking off.
Yep.
Cassian stays trying to shoot Dedra, so he's like got his like eye on her through the scope, and then because she runs out looking for Cyril, and then like she's brought back inside quick. Lots of the front are getting shot. It's all carnage. It's all carnage. It's just crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Like, you're just sat there watching it like, oh my god.
There's a reason why they call this a massacre.
Yes. It is a slaughter.
Yeah.
So we then see, like, you know, the sniper is also just taking out civilians. but is aiming for people with the like not the shooters. He's like aiming for just regular running civilians.
Mm-hmm.
So we see him just like watching what's happening. It's all going off. We see the clerk who was hiding in the hotel lobby. He like chucks a bomb towards the door where a load of stormtroopers are now, and like
blows up the front of the hotel, but also annihilates all the troopers.
There was a lot of stormtroopers that went flying.
There was.
Kaido then basically is like unleash the KX droids.
Mm-hmm.
So we do see like clips of like the front like firing back. So here's like Lizen like shooting. Here's a close up of like Cassian going for Dedra.
Mm-hmm.
So he releases the KX droids, and they are like Terminators.
They are. I was literally like, this is Terminator vibes.
So they just come out, and we see this. Oh, there's the cloak blowing up the thing. But we get this shot of like one of these KX droids like kicking the barrier. Like he kicks it like it's a football, and it just takes out a load of them. And then we see Ryzan's like daughter bump into like another fleeing member, and the KX droid sort of comes after her, and she like tries crawling away, and he just like picks her up and is like
throws her.
And you have like, I'd probably say it's like her partner, like looking on, being like like screaming as she then like smacks against the floor. And it's really sad because it's like she just got thrown. It wasn't like she was shot, but like the impact just finished her off.
That's crazy.
So yeah, those KX droids have been made to look so
intimidating.
Like if you've played the Jedi Fallen Orders, like or Survivor games, like
they're so hard to beat.
They're not as difficult as you think, but at the end of the day, that's to a Jedi with a lightsaber and the Force. These people have no chance.
No.
Like that's, I think, what this show really does well is shows how like evil these ones are. So yeah, it's all kicking off. People are dying. Cyril is stood in the crowd, watching on in disbelief. Because actually, I remember what it is now. The bomb captures Cyril's attention. So he then turns and sees Cassian. So he's like, oh my God, it's Cassian. So he's like, I've got to sort this out. So Cassian aims at Dedra, like, I'm just going to go for a shot through the window, try and get her. But then gets tackled into this like restaurant by Cyril. And we get a very like scruffy, messy, hands-on fight between Cyril and Cassian. And in fairness to Cyril, like he puts up a hell of a fight. Like he doesn't like, it's not an easy one for Cassian. It's very scruffy, very messy. Then they sort of get by a window, and then like one of those like grenades like go off by the window, and it sends them both like flying. And Cassian sort of gets up and like hides.
He drops his blaster as well.
Cyril, we can see sort of like coming around,
trying to grab it.
Yeah. And then points it at Cassian, and Cassian's like, oh, bugger.
He's like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly that. That was the bit I thought was so good, is Cassian looks at him and he's like, who are you? And there's this moment of like Cyril just like is like, can't believe that this person he has been searching for years has like just completely doesn't know who he is. This whole hunt that Cyril's been going on for his Cassian is the reason his life has ended up the way it has.
Yeah,
because
for
of
sure.
this investigation, and even at the very end, he's like, he doesn't know who he is, and he basically sort of puts the blaster down a bit, and he's like, I can't believe this. You don't know who I am, sort of thing.
It's almost like he's wasted so much time learning about Andor and like ingraining his face in his mind, so that if he ever bumped into him, he would like, take him in or whatever.
But then,
Andor doesn't know him. Bam.
We see Cyril get hit in the head by a blaster, and we see that it's Ryzan. Ryzan has picked up a blaster and shot Cyril in the head. And Cassian's just like, what the hell?
He's like, what on earth is happening? Why is this random bloke like having a fight with me? And like this old man just shot him.
So we see the Wilman's with him as well.
I would be so confused as well. Like.
Yeah. But we see Cassian pick up the blaster from Cyril. But we get this like look at Cyril, and it's like all of Cyril, everything Cyril went through for nothing, and Cassian basically being like, who on earth was this guy?
Just another pawn for the Empire.
Yeah. So we then see Wilman and Cassian leave the plaza, and Wilman's like, I've got to go to HQ because I've got to get my girlfriend now because I like her. And Cassian's like, no, we got to go. And then a KX droid comes out and like chases them. But then we get this shot of the KX droid being hit by it's a great picture of it.
Yeah.
Getting hit by the like truck, which we find out is being driven by Sam.
Yay.
The guy who was who basically killed Sinner. So he's not overly redeemed himself, but sort of as well, because it's like you've saved Cassian and Wilman. So this cuts the KX droid in half, and Wilman's like, I'm going to help go to HQ with Sam. I got to help. And he's like, let them know what happened here. And then Cassian's like, wait, I need one more favor. And they load the broken in half KX droid into the into the truck, and then we see Cassian like tearing up as he's driving away. We overhear the like radio operator, Wilman's like love interest, say like, anyone can help us. The Empire is mass slaughtering us. They're killing us. And then we get like shots of like the Resistance like carrying each other and dying. It's brutal.
It is.
We then also sort of cut to Dedra in her secure room. I think she's realised here that Cyril is no more. And here she is like tugging at a collar like...
And this is the one in the trailer that we thought she was being strangled by Darth Vader.
Yes,
or
unfortunately.
force choked. But unfortunately, we didn't see Darth Vader.
She's just struggling, like her hands are shaking, she's like crying.
She's just stressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably a lot of pressure to be in.
Especially with what's just happened as well.
She's just like, so unhappy.
So, really sadly, right, I really felt for this. One of the last things we see of the episode is Cyril's mum. And she's watching the news with like two friends, and she's like crying and upset as they're reporting about Gorman. And I did feel for her a bit there, because it's like, the way, again, this is how good the show is, but because of the way, or if they were to look at the bodies and find Cyril, he would probably get put down as one of these Gorman terrorists, not an Imperial hero that the like news are reporting, basically saying these brave heroes of our soldiers basically saved us and helped us, and this was caused by outsiders influencing like the terrorists. So she knows that her boy Cyril is a loyalist to the Imperials, but he probably will get announced or put down as a terrorist, which I think is really cleverly done, but also really sad.
Yeah.
Moving on to episode 9, we'll try and speed it up because we know this has gone on quite a bit. But again, this is the problem with the what do you call it? With the 3 episodes.
Down 3 of them.
So we have the Imperial Senate building at night, and it starts to rain. So obviously if you know, the climate on Coruscant is controlled, so they've decided to make it rain tonight. Unbelievable. And we see Senator Orin being escorted out by stormtroopers. Again, they look really cool, and they're sort of just marching them out. And he's like, "They will come for you. They came for my people. They will come for yours next." And it's sort of, he like looks over at Bale before sort of saying that, which is obviously a bit of like foreshadowing, but like, you know. Again, stormtroopers looking very cool. So we see Mon and Bale talking about they need to speak out now, but Bale's like, I can't just leave yet. Yavin's not ready. Blah blah blah. And Bale's like, Mon's like, I've got to do it. I've got to speak. So he's like, all right, go write a speech. So she goes to her office. We see Clea in Luthen's shop printing out a press like badge for Cassian, who's still got like obviously some like wounds and that. So he's obviously left Gorman and gone to Luthen's shop. And he says to Claire, like, I'm done. After this, because basically Luthen gets word that Mon is in trouble and got to get out, sort of thing. And they find a bug in her office, and she destroys it. Now, she shouldn't have really destroyed it, in my opinion, because in my opinion, it's like that gives it away. That you know that if someone is listening to you, they know you know. So she shouldn't have destroyed it and just been like, "Oh, I'm just going to the loo." And go out the room. But yeah. So we see that. So she's going to Yavin, and Luthen wants Cassian to get Mon out of there. So Cassian's like, I'm doing this, then I'm done. And Claire's like, nah, you're never like done after everything that we've done and all that. Blah, blah, blah. We also see a cool twisted knife, which I believe is some reference to a knife that is used in the book, like against Padawan Anakin, I think. And we get this cool shot of obviously the ISB being like, oh, her bug has stopped working. But we also see from this thing here, all the senators are been bugged. They're all being listened to. It's crazy. So then we see Mon go outside for a bit of fresh air to like practice her speech.
Because she doesn't know if there's multiple bugs in her room.
Yeah. So she leaves. Luthen comes over to her undisguised. Like, I love this shot here. Obviously, we don't really see it in the. I don't think you see this particular angle in the thing, but I just love this shot of like Mon and Luthen with like stormtroopers like patrolling the area.
Mm-hmm.
But Luthen explains to her how Erskine has worked for him, protecting Mon for like the last couple of years.
He says not to trust Bail Organa's team as well.
Yeah, because Bail's like, my team will get you out. But the team is not, what's the word? Compromised.
Yeah.
So there's a mole in the ISB. Obviously, Lonnie, who is Luthen's spy in the ISB, has told Luthen that there's a spy in Bail Organa's team. So he's like, don't trust them, don't do it. I've got someone, he's going to sort you out. Mon's very like, no, I don't trust you. You scare me.
Yeah.
Really interesting little back and forth between these two. And she says something like, right now, you scare me more than the Senate or something. It's like, bloody hell. It's kicking off.
It's all kicking off.
We see Legret, who is like this guy. He's been brought in to like oversee what's going on because they can't work out why the bugs there or being destroyed. We see that like the sort of Senate building, it's the next day, and we see that like Mon hasn't gone home. She stayed there all night, which has ended up being a blessing for her because it's meant that basically there's an early session in the Senate the next day, and if she wasn't there, her driver who worked for the ISB would have made sure she didn't go to it, or would have taken her to the ISB. So good job she did stay there. Mon then fires Erskine, being like, you've lied to me, stuff like that. So he goes. We then see, I don't know where it's gone. Yeah. So we see Luthen meet with Clea and Cassian, like again out in the open, man. And he's like, or Clea tells Luthen that Erskine got fired and that they need to try and get to her and come up with a plan. We see that like the ISB call her driver to basically be like, where is she? What's she doing? And they're like, he's like, she hasn't left. She's still there. And then we see Cassian make his way to the Senate building, and he goes in as like a false reporter from like from the like mid rim, like, you know, he was there on Gorman or something. And he goes in there and he meets up with Erskine, who he didn't realise was Erskine at first, but they meet up. And he's obviously there to help Mon Mothma, even if he's been fired. Which we do see in Rebels that he is back under her control. Not control, but like employment. We do also see that the Senate is empty, again, like I said, due to a early session. We also see Bail's extraction team, the three of them, sort of come in individually into the Senate to talk about how they're going to get her. The woman is the mole. She's actually working for the ISB. She's not a goodie. So they come up with a plan. And then I believe I think her name's Beska. So So I'm just trying to get to the right point in my notes. So the ISB then realised that she might try and do something.
Mm-hmm.
So they sort of try and get word over, basically, to like keep an eye on her and get her, but doesn't work. And we see before the Senate goes in,
Mm-hmm.
we see Bale and Mon have this last little meeting, being like, "I'll see you on Yavin,
Yeah.
you know,
Good luck to
good
everything.
luck." But then he tells her, "Tear the S
Yeah.
out of this place." Don't often get that a lot in Star Wars,
Nope.
but he said it. He was like, "Tear the S out of this place," and it's like, "Yes, Bale,
Mm-hmm.
go on, Mon." I think I literally said that, didn't I? When I was like, "Go on, Mon," which I thought was
You
quite
got
cool.
this, girl.
You got this.
And there's a little baron species.
I was so happy. So we see some senators talking about like what's going on in like because of the Gorman incident that happened, and like one of them blames it on rebels, like outsiders, and that they lost a citizen in the massacre. But we see this Talafar species, right? This is the same species as Baby Baron.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy when I saw this. I was like, "Oh, it's Baby Baron species."
Mm-hmm.
I know it's such a weird like Easter egg, but for me, I was like, Baby Baron. We're seeing Baby Baron species.
If you don't know who Baby Baron is, he's from the Bad Batch season 2. And he's just a cute little baby, and he gets taken away from his mum by Cad Bane.
And he's like put into the secret.
And we saw
base.
one in Acolyte, who was a Jedi.
Yes.
And now we saw one in.
I think there was one in Solo as well.
Yeah.
Like cheering on Solo in his sabak. But Baby Baron, man.
Yeah. Maybe this is Baby Baron all grew up.
No, because this is like, you got to think this is around the same sort of time as Bad Batch. So
true.
No.
True.
Baby Baron is not a member of the Senate.
Maybe this is his great granddad.
Maybe this is Daddy Baron.
Yeah.
Maybe
Baron.
But I love little Baby Baron.
He's cute.
But yeah, just a cool little nod to him. And basically, the Senate have Bale. Sorry, this woman, I can't remember her name. She invokes the article. I think it's like, hang on, I have the number here. She enacts an article basically saying a senior senator can pass on their time to speak in the Senate to another one.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Bell use Article 17252 and gives his time to Mon, where we get Mon giving a very passionate speech about the massacre. But she sort of like talks about herself. Like she doesn't just go straight and be like, this is what happened. She builds it up. And the ISB then are like, you got to shut the feed. Like they realize something's not right here. So the guy goes to take the thing down, and they're like, no, you can't. They must be, I don't know who they're working for, but there's like two engineers, and they're like, sorry, we can't do that. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Like sort of thing. So he runs off to go do it, and she's giving this speech. And we get this like really cool shot of like obviously everyone's listening.
Yeah.
Erskine sort of waits in this like lobby bit where Cassian goes up to wait outside the like pod for her. Partagas is getting a little bit no, not Partagas. What's his name? I forgot his name.
The sort of bold Imperial guy.
Yep. Legret is looking a little bit stressed, as her speech keeps on going, and he's like, "Why is it not being cut?"
Mhm.
And they're all sort of panicking. And also during this, we see Burska in this like sort of storeroom with one of the other ones.
Mhm.
Get told by the ISB to be like, "You got to take her out."
Mhm.
So she then kills one of the other
Mhm.
like operatives.
Mhm.
As you can see here, ISB going crazy, being like, "Stop the feed."
Mhm.
I love all the like symbols though, because it's all like stuff that you see in like New Hope and
Yeah.
the
for
originals. And then Mon gives this incredible speech, which ends with, and the monster screaming the loudest, the monster we helped create, the monster that will come for us all soon enough, is Emperor Palpatine.
Sure. Mhm.
And it's like the feed then cuts.
Mhm.
But it's like, oh, she said it now. She has said it.
Yeah.
And as you can see, he's like,
Sweating.
oh, he's like, oh dear.
Yeah.
So Cassian and all the Senate, then you can hear like some of the senators that are like in there,
Mhm.
like boo, like having a right go. And her pod slowly comes back to the dock where she meets up with Cassian, and he's like, I was there on Gorman.
Mhm.
I have friends everywhere. He gives her the code. She sort of realizes,
Mhm.
oh, you're the guy.
Mhm.
And she still doesn't like believe him.
Mhm.
And then he sort of tells her like, I worked with your sister Val on a mission. Like
It's like,
they know
I know Luthen
yes,
can be bad, but you know, I'm here to help.
yes. I love this shot, by the way.
Mhm.
So they come out of the thing, and Burska puts a blaster to Cassian and Mon,
Mhm.
being like, "You're coming with me," sort of
Mhm.
thing. And then Erskine, who is there, obviously being a very good guy,
Yep.
shouts out, "She's a rebel spy,"
Mhm.
which then makes her turn the blaster to him,
Mhm.
and Cassian
Mhm.
blasts her. It's like, oh my god, crazy. But I love this shot because this is like the first time Mon has ever seen like this.
Yep.
So she is genuinely like,
You can see the fear.
Genevieve O'Reilly has done such a good performance in this show so far. And even like the whole series has just been amazing. So then she drops her like blue coat, and
Cassian puts his-
Erskine is like, go, I'll sort this, go. So then Cassian puts his jacket on her, and they sort of like walk through the like Senate building, and they're shutting it down. Stormtroopers are like everywhere. She knows like the best way out of it because obviously she knows it well.
Yeah.
So
So
her driver goes to like cut them off, or goes to like find her, and she sees him
Mhm.
with Cassian, and Cassian like calls out his name to confuse him, and then bang,
Mhm.
blasts him, and again she's very shocked. And they nick the speeder,
Mhm.
and he flies her off.
Mhm. And they go to the safe house
Yeah,
in Coruscant.
and we see Partagas get this little headset where he gets told Yularen is on the phone or on the call, and it's like, oh no, he knows he's in trouble now.
Oh dear.
He knows. Oh, it's so good though, isn't it? Because Yularen's obviously like, you're dead. So then we see the safe house at Knife, and it is Cassian's old flat,
Mhm.
but it is very run down.
Mhm.
And we also see Wilman is there with his girl. They made it out of Gorman alive. Also, we do see as well, before this bit, actually, we see Val on Yavin looking over these weapons,
Mhm.
and she focuses on a blaster. And then we see Melshi being like,
There's mine.
that's mine. But do you know the story behind that blaster?
There's like a symbol on it, but I don't remember what the symbol is.
No, it's like who it's belonged to. So in season 1,
Yeah.
it was Cyril's
Mm-hmm.
when Cassian first confronts him on Ferrix,
Mm-hmm.
when he like puts him at gunpoint and takes his gun.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Cyril's. Then obviously Cassian had it,
Mm-hmm.
hides it on Niamos,
Mm-hmm.
gets arrested, leaves with Melshi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, no. Then he did the Aldani job,
Mm-hmm.
and he had it on Aldani with Val, so that's where she recognizes it. He then goes to Niamos, hides it, gets arrested, goes to Narkina 5, escapes with Melshi.
Mm-hmm.
They go back to Niamos to get like credits and all that. He gives the blaster to Melshi. So it's come a long way. So it's technically Cyril's blaster. But
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was quite fun.
Yeah.
So she's looking over the weapons and that. We see Mon at the safe house being told she's going to be brought into Yavin by Gold Squadron.
Mm-hmm.
You should definitely go watch the Rebels episode with Mon Mothma, which basically takes place almost like pretty much after this,
Mm-hmm.
which is very cool. So we then cut back to.
I mean, in that Rebels episode, they talk about taking her to Dantooine.
Yeah, because they do take her to
But
Dantooine, but
I think, yeah, maybe she went to Dantooine and then went to Yavin after.
Mm-hmm. So we see obviously the U-wing come back to blah blah blah. We'll come back to where is it? To Yavin. Why did I lose my mind? Comes back to Yavin, and they all put their like blasters up, and Cassian's like, "There's a KX droid in here,
Mhm.
like we're fine," sort of thing, like whatever. So he gets put like sent to quarters, whatever, and Bix is there, and they sort of like, he's like, "I've had enough. I want to go. I want to leave this. I want to leave with you." And then he's sleeping,
Mhm.
and he wakes up the next morning, and Bix isn't there, and she has left him a little note saying she's got to leave him
Mhm.
because she's holding him back
Mhm.
from his purpose, and it's really sad because he's watching his girlfriend leaving.
Yep.
Poor Cassian. So then he like runs through the base, and he's like, "Where's the shuttle?" And they're like, "It's already left this morning." So, oh dear. But then we do see that he gets addressed as Captain
Mhm.
Andor, so he has been promoted, which was very cool. And they say the KX droid is ready to be turned on.
Mhm.
So the like guy, all the rebels have their like blasters at him. At the KX droid, which is just sort of led there, and he turns it on, and it's like, and then it's like focused on Cassian with the blaster,
Mhm.
and then you hear Alan Tudyk's voice being like, "I'm sorry for any inconvenience I might have caused you,
Mhm.
but if you wouldn't mind putting that blaster somewhere else."
Mhm.
And it's like, K2SO,
Yep.
finally. He's got his personality.
It is such a good droid though, and like, I mean, we saw how powerful they were in the Gorman Massacre,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like having having a droid like that on the Rebels side is like, it's very good.
Yeah. And yeah, that's how episode 9 finishes. So many episodes. We got 3 more to do next week, so we will do that then.
Yeah.
But we have a meme of the week to finish, as always. I had to go for this one because it's our boy, but it's also quite sad. So it's Cinta, like by Tay Colmer's like shuttle,
Mhm.
like greeting
From
him.
like before the wedding.
No, like at the end of the wedding where she's going to like obviously take him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just no, don't go on that speeder with Cinta.
Yep.
You're not gonna make it out. So
No, Oh, baby news.
Not now. Don't do it to me now. But yeah. So that is it for today's episode. We know it's again been a very long one, but
3 episodes.
and we got the
Easy.
finale next episode that we're going to be breaking down. So 3 more episodes to come. So we hope you've enjoyed it. We will see you on the next episode. And may the force be with you guys. Have a great rest of your week.